Down here, it's not like anything you've seen above. It's hell.
I've got something special and more.
I need to make this right.
Let's make a game of you.
Hurry! Let us in! He's outside!
I failed you.
You lied to me!
Hiya there, pal. Follow me.
Hey, welcome back to the Elite Realm channel. We're still in the world of Poppy Playtime, Chapter 4, Safe Haven. We're now at the most exciting part of the game. Get ready for some mind-blowing developments and some character confessions that'll knock your socks off. The ending of the plot should reveal a lot of secrets about this place. So be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel to keep abreast of all the latest horror news. Make yourself a cuppa and get comfy. Let's do this. Once they're back inside his territory, the doctor is able to observe and speak to the player again.
Ah, and here you are, just as I expected. It appears you are every bit what the prototype fears. And to think Playtime had someone of such rare quality and never noticed. Funny. I can't say I remember seeing your face before, but I'm curious. Why come back? It can't be that a vague letter was your only reason. Was there someone you loved here? Someone you'd lost? Was it the pain of not knowing for sure that brought you here?
He notes that the player is every bit what the prototype is afraid of, and muses about Playtime, never noticing they had someone of such rare quality on their payroll, someone he can't claim to recognize from his time working there. He also wonders aloud about their motivation to come back, noting that the vague letter received at the start of the game can't be their only reason. They continue moving deeper into the complex, but fall into a trap laid by the doctor inside an operating room. A blue hand scanner that activates a freezing gas pipe when scanned, freezing the hand to the scanner and slowly cooling the room to the point of lethality. While the player works to escape the trap by picking up a spare blue hand with their other hand and using it to activate the room's temperature control, the doctor reveals there's more to the story than Poppy has told them. She knew about the hour of joy ahead of time.
That she knew it was coming? Or did she leave out that crucial detail? Yes, that wouldn't surprise me. Has she not strung you along, betrayed you, and told you only what you needed to know to do exactly as he asked? You've seen what they do to each other. All they want is violence. Look around. Evidence for it is everywhere.
He probes further, trying to get the player to consider how she's used them, only telling them what they needed to know to act on her orders. But they disable the trap, in the process destroying the doctor's preserved lungs, which were kept in the room. The player progresses into a maze flooded with the red smoke, needing to use a broken gas mask with replaceable oxygen cartridges to filter it out, though each cartridge only gives them a minute of air.
Just like them, a blind,
They search the maze for
scurrying
clues to a
little
keypad
rat.
code, which opens the way to another of the Doctor's preserved organs, this time his liver, which they destroy to open the way forward. As they continue, they fall into another one of the Doctor's traps, disabling their purple hand and the right hand of the grab pack entirely, which forces them to swing across a gap via a grab pack handle. The Doctor promptly electrifies, dropping the player into a maze with one of his other pets, an enlarged Baba Chops. The player navigates around her to solve a power redirection puzzle, occasionally impeded by other larger-than-usual nightmare critters in cages. Upon the completion of the puzzle, the Doctor traps the player in a room with containers similar to the ones that stored his preserved organs, only this one contains a harmless Simon smoke. The Doctor confronts them with a test of morality, trying to force them to take the life of an innocent for their own survival. The door to the room will not open to let them out unless they fry the trapped toy. He insists that Poppy and Dowie would both do it, but is curious if the player would do the same.
Dear friend, let me illuminate for you an obvious truth. Survival necessitates choices. Difficult choices. This one is yours. If you want to leave this room, it'll come at a cost. It's this little life or yours. You know what you have to do. Just the slightest pull, and you snuff whatever minuscule bit of light still flickers behind those faraway eyes. That brutish glob of clay would do it. Poppy would do it. It's your mission. The door will open. Or is maintaining the veil of your morality more important? Act quickly.
There is a way for them to leave the room without frying the toy by pulling themselves out through a hole in the ceiling. But either way, the player is left with only one place left to go, the Doctor's lair.
Come now. Let's see which of us beasts of burden.
When the player reaches him, the Doctor's true form is revealed. A massive tank in the center of a room of monitors that contains his brain, surrounded by remote-controlled robot bodies. As the player approaches, he opens a trapdoor under their feet, dropping them into the server rooms below him. In order to return to the monitor room and destroy the Doctor's brain, the player must collect 4 batteries from around the server rooms, but the area proves to be a dark maze filled with his remote-controlled bodies. Most of them stand frozen, but several do not, and several more threaten to activate, shining a yellow light from their monitors that will promptly activate them if the player walks through it. When all of the batteries are plugged into the central part of the server room, the way back to the top is open, allowing the player to reach the Doctor's brain and remove his Omni chip, causing a power surge that threatens to destroy him. In a last-ditch effort, he sends all of his bodies at the player, but the system implodes, disabling his robots. Thus, he perishes for all that he has ever done, putting an end to his cruelty and his totalitarian rule over not only the prison but all of Playtime Code for good. As he dies, he spitefully proclaims that the player has saved no one. The player uses the Omni chip they took from the Doctor to upgrade their red hand into an Omni hand, allowing them to open a path back to the safe haven. Upon their arrival with the Omni Hand, Poppy and Doey prepare to help the player
Omni-Hand.
fix the generator, while Doey tries to confront Poppy about her plan and plead for her to reconsider. This is interrupted by a phone call from a panicked Ollie, as he states that the prototype is just outside Safe Haven. Poppy sends Doey out to distract the prototype and lead him away,
Good.
leaving the player alone
You're
in the
here.
generator room to fix it with the
Let's
help
get
of Ollie's
started.
instructions.
Losing the doctor? It'll have gotten the prototype's attention. He'll be scared. He knows he's losing now, and the orphans are all he has. Now's the time to get to the Foundation. Make everything ready.
Look, we need to talk about this. We shouldn't... Just give it a second.
Ollie? You there? What's...
He's outside!
Ollie?
He's outside!
Who? Who's... Oh no. You need to distract him, Doey. Please. Keep him away from here.
Without the generator...
I know, but he can't get in here. Not now. Just buy us some time. You'll have to fix the generator. Work quickly. You won't have a lot of time.
But I...
Trust us, Doey. Trust me.
Just get the generator working. Please.
I'll try to gather the others. Keep them safe.
They succeeded by reinforcing the Safe
Ollie,
Haven's defenses,
if you
but
can
no
hear
signs of
me,
Doey coming back
work
yet.
with our friend here.
Deciding
Aye,
there's
aye,
no
Captain.
time to wait, Poppy prompts the player to move
can
forward
do
with her
this.
plan.
You heard her. Now let's get to it. First, you'll want to open the access panel on the generator. It's just a little door on the outside of the machine. Use the Omni Hand. Whenever you're ready, flip the breaker switch. But be aware. Grab an external resistor. Attach that to the capacitor bank. Good. Now use the Omni tool to override the generator. Pull it! Nice. Now put in a new one. It's done. We did it. Good.
You did it. Thank you isn't nearly enough. No word from Doey. Whatever happened out there? No, he's fine. I'm sure of it. We shouldn't wait anyway. Head for the Foundation. Plant the explosives. Meet back here after. We'll go over what comes next.
The player, alone, heads to the Foundation and collects a series of mining charges from the surrounding caverns, planting them in the central gas room and redirecting the gas to increase its pressure enough to flood the tunnels. While fleeing the buildup of red smoke,
Prototype.
the player encounters
Lost
Doey,
track of him in the
who's
tunnels.
lost the prototype
Did you
in the
see him?
caves.
Was he at the Foundation? Or was he... What? What's going on?
He realizes in horror, and way too late,
let him away,
that the
didn't I?
prototype was intentionally
The
leading him
generator's
away from
fine.
the safe
It's-
haven. A distant explosion rocks the cavern, and he runs back to the haven in horror, followed by the player. On returning, they find Safe Haven completely destroyed, and all of the toys inside dead from the explosion.
So
The prototype
sorry.
had attacked Safe Haven,
Failed
and then
you.
Doey breaks down in grief at not being there to
I was
protect his
never
friends
what
and
any of
family.
you needed.
This tragedy is the final straw,
only
causing
made
him to
to
snap
hurt
completely and swing violently back and forth between the three personalities of the children that were used to make him. Matthew's influence trying to control his anger at Poppy and the player, and reasoning that they were trying to help, Jack's influence sobbing over his dead friends, and Kevin aggressively and violently lashes out at the player, blaming them for the death of the survivors. Ultimately, Kevin's personality wins out.
My friends! He killed my friends! It all started with you. You and her. It was you who ruined everything! No, that's not true. They jump-started the generator. They destroyed everything! I'll kill you!
Causing Dowie to rage on killing the player and accidentally knocking a wall over on himself and emerging from it as a twisted reptilian monster with 3 heads in its mouth. The 3 boys used to make him, trying to claw their way out. He chases the player through underground tunnels that lead to an underground construction site. Unable to turn him back to normal as Matthew and Jack have no control. The player is forced to kill Dowie in the underground construction zone, using liquid nitrogen canisters to freeze him solid so he can be damaged by industrial saws. As they leave, he turns out to have survived the fight and attacks one final time underneath a tunnel boring machine, which the player is forced to pull down to kill him for real.
It's all your
As Dowie dies,
fault!
he rages on about how he can't trust anyone, lamenting his failure to be better and to save the other toys, and finally apologizes twice for his actions.
Can't trust anyone! The gentle voices lie! You lie! I'm trying to be better, to be who they needed. Not smart enough, not good enough, not... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
After killing Dowie, the player searches for survivors and stumbles into the ventilation block on shelf B6,
Ollie!
where they find Poppy and Kissy Missy.
me?
Poppy
Ollie!
confronts the player, assuming they must be why the plan went wrong and horrified by their killing of Dowie. Poppy tries to contact
What
Ollie
did
for
you
comfort,
do?
but Ollie reveals himself
How
to have
did
been
you
the
kill
prototype
Dowie?
the entire time.
Do you even understand
He explains that
what
the real
happened?
Ollie has been dead since a
Prototype
long time
heat.
ago, and the prototype
Did
had
you even
manipulated
plant the
everyone to get
explosives?
this exact outcome. Poppy then furiously lashes out at the
Ollie,
prototype
answer
for
me!
lying to her all this time, with the
Please.
prototype responding that she kept missing the point. He proceeds to taunt the group about their failures and threatens Poppy with being put back in
Ollie,
an improved case.
Something's gone horribly wrong.
Overwhelmed by the
Safe haven.
revelation, her
Ventilation
failures,
block
and her fear of going back in the case, Poppy decides to flee and abandons the player with Kissy Missy in the ventilation.
What?
Stay where you are.
And listen closely. You're not going to run. You with an obvious answer.
You... What did you do with Ollie?
I'm right here, Poppy.
For you,
I'll always be.
be here.
The doctor, Catnap, Mommy and Huggy, they're all dead. You have nothing now. No one. And soon, you'll have less than that.
Stop that
You don't need to pretend.
anymore, Poppy. You don't need to play at being stronger than you are.
You can
Come home.
How much do you know?
Everything.
This isn't right. All those years. Was there ever an Ollie?
Yes, there was.
But that was a very long time ago. Let me tell you what comes next.
I'm going to
Come up there.
and I'm going to
Find you. Your collaborators. The few you have left, they will be dealt with.
What are you going to do with me?
I've got something special in mind.
I prepared it just for you.
And this one, you will never want to leave.
No. No, no, no. This entire time, you've lied to me!
Only because you've kept
Missing the point.
I've taken the liberty of retrieving those explosives from the Foundation. Thanks for collecting them.
Those, by the way, I've put them to good use. I admit, though, I'm disappointed.
After all that time in your case, I'd hoped you'd see things
Differently. Don't you understand?
It's always been about you.
And we'll hobby what we are. That's not a truth that can be burnt away. No, not when it can mean so much more.
Prototype. Please.
It's time to come home.
Poppy.
It's time to come home.
I can't go back in the case. I can't. I'm sorry.
The prototype gloats about this outcome and states
worry,
that
I'll
he will
find her.
find her as well as detonating the explosive charges he stole from the Foundation, collapsing the floor. Kissy Missy grabs onto the edge of the hole and tries to save the player, but her already weakened arm, unable to hold the player's human weight, tears off, dropping them down a deep pit. Recovering after a rough landing near Kissy's torn-off arm, the player find themselves outside the labs at the bottom of Playtime's facility, surrounded in a garden of poppy flowers. After exploring for a bit, they find a tape, which subjects them to a lecture from Pierre, similar to the one heard at the front door where the player revisits the factory.
Hi, my name is Pierre, and I'm the head of innovation here at Playtime Co. If you're seeing this, you must be very, very lost. Well, rest assured, friend, our state-of-the-art laboratory is just up ahead. Why don't you just go on inside and tap one of our scientists on the shoulder? Tell them you're lost. They'll be glad to help. All right, all right. Let's be honest. You're not supposed to be here. This is the single most high security, high clearance section of the whole factory. When someone finds you down here, you will be shot. And before you get any ideas, don't think you can just sneak away either. No, the second you put this tape in, it set off an alarm. So if anyone's home, they know exactly where you are. Pretty nifty, huh? Security is very
The tape
important
triggers
to
an
us here.
alarm, alerting
If I
a
were
battered
you,
and damaged Huggy
I'd start
Wuggy to
running.
their location, who is revealed to have survived the fall in Chapter 1, ending the 4th chapter as he furiously rushes and slams at the door. The player is trapped in while screeching at them before they get engulfed by red smoke.